Hello, welcome to this video. This is the second part of how to play chess 960 or freestyle chess. And we are going to keep analyzing the games and I'm going to explain what happened in the 8th round and the reason why I didn't play. So okay, in the 5th round, first I'm going to show you this game because all the games were quite interesting and instructive. Like all of them were quite instructive. Look at this, for example, this thing, and it's clearly working. And we have this initial position again. Okay, he has, he thinks 8 seconds, so he just opens the position. It make a lot of sense. And in this case, I think you don't really care about the bishop, you have to fight for the center. But in this case, I picked this g6 idea. That, for me, didn't look bad. Because my huge plan was bishop g7, f5, and fight for the e4 square. And that's the idea. Of course, in the contrary order, f5 and then bishop g7. That made way more sense. So, okay, e3, again fighting for the center, made a lot of sense. And now this f5 move, as I told you, it's what I was going to do. Because of that, I think it wasn't the best approach, but it wasn't a bad one, I think, because the idea is that I can play knight f7 and things like that. And I want to open the other bishop because I want to have a good bishop, then him a bad. So I want to play knight f7 and e5 ideas. Now he plays this move, knight f2. I counter with this knight f7. Now this bishop a6, I completely missed, but it's not good. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Now I counter with this like knight d6, logical move, nothing out of this world, but trying to trap the bishop. Now a4, logical, and I just play e5. Yeah, all every normal. And the castle. Yeah, I just play bishop g7 and I'm going to castle short as well. And now d4, I just castle. I don't think there's... Okay, I could probably play better, but d4 for white is good here, but they play d4 and d4, e4. But e4, yeah, looks... Take, knight takes, bishop takes. I don't know, looks a bit sus. The engine says it's fine. Human starting point, I don't know. Like, it looks good, yeah, because I have a good bishop, but then bishop d3. Yeah, but we will castle short. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I have to agree with the engine. Of course, it doesn't really matter if I agree or not. The engine always, it's correct. If then you have to think about the human standpoint, like practically speaking, that was better. Normally, the engine approach, it's usually the best human approach as well, but sometimes no. In freestyle, usually yes, because of course we can study a lot in how to play in normal position, but of course 959 extra positions, the engine is usually right and has studied the game better. So takes, knight takes, I thought it made sense, but it's better to take with the bishop. I didn't want to trade bishops. But of course he forces me. But I of course don't allow it. But of course it's gonna do it. Like knight takes knight, bishop takes should be fine. But he doesn't do any of the things I thought he was gonna do. I thought knight f4 was a nice idea to then play bishop c4 or something like that. Or trade everything and then I don't know, rook e1 and some idea with f4. I don't understand much. I go c5, again allowing this type of thing with bishop takes knight or something like that. I think it was knight takes knight, bishop takes. Yeah, my queen is just badly positioned. My knight is bad. I don't think I move. That's clearly worse. It's a plus one. Okay, knight f4 is the wrong moment for that type of idea. I just go out with king h8. Second engine move, I think it's good result. Knight d5, instantly take it. Like if if my bishop is gonna be blocked, I just prefer to give it up. Like okay, my bishop is gonna be blocked and my queen attacked. Why would I want that? Because if I move my queen, c4 could come, the minimum. In this case, knight c7 and then stronger, but even at the minimum c4. I don't want that. So I just traded, thought the queen was badly positioned there, and I offered a trade. I have to say, I was really confident in my endgame skills in this tournament. I mostly used that I was really confident in endgames. I got into every endgame I could get. I got into it, unless it was really lost. If it was just a bit inferior endgame, I got into it. Now my opponent plays another strange move. This knight h3. Now the endgame is not even better for them. I find not the best move, but reasonably a good move. Now knight f4, trying to take the e6 pawn. I just play rook e8, a reasonable good move. Bishop b5. I completely missed that move. Bishop b5, I have to say. Well, wasn't that bad. Now bishop c4, trying to win material, but we had knight takes bishop at the very least. So that make any sense. They just traded the bishops. King takes, pawn takes. Now our structure is clearly better. We went g5. But for me, it made a lot of sense. There was this knight d3 idea that blocked my rook. It seems like just go e5. That was my first idea. Was good. No, the engine said it's not. A5? The A5, what did I see? Yeah, I just saw 92 and I didn't like it much. Yeah. But trading and then 95, something like that. To threaten the c4 pawn. It's good. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. And I just want this 95 idea. After this g5 93, I just piled up pressure. There's knight f2, by the way. But I thought that endgame I'm clearly better because they cannot really defend the pawns. King f2, they blunder this knight a5, winning the c4 pawn. King e2, they hang the c4 pawn. h4, good idea for counterplay, but I just go h6. I don't want to go overcomplicate. Take, rook h1. So just go knight a3. This is killer idea. Knight takes c2. And it's a loss already. Rook takes. They try to again look for counterplay. Just losing. Good idea trying to get the rooks. Actually lost my last classical game by a rook enter. So I was actually looking for that in the end game even more. In the classical game I was really trying to defend it. At the end I allowed it and I lost. In this here I was way more active in completely annulling that idea. So now this rook a1, a8, that, okay, it makes sense, but does it do anything? I would have won a rook. Like, missing that was really bad. Like, rook b2, I just win a rook. Like, there's no way of saving it. I just went quickly with b5, allowing a bit of counterplay. And for a second, I was even scared to throw the game. As I said, I was a bit traumatized by this kind of endgames because I lost a similar one. Well, not I wasn't so winning, but it was similar. Now I just went for puzzles, and I always was careful with checkmating ideas or perpetual. They really have nothing. Like king of six, rook h6, king e7. That you might see like the R. It's obviously rey in Spanish. It's not rook. I will probably change that to make the engine more understandable for the next video. Okay, rook a8, c3, and now this completely logical move again. Rook a6, trying to win a pawn. They just completely ignored it with b4. Was careful, but not blundering mates. There was just nothing. There was just no mate. c2, g7, king h7, king g6, g7, king h5, and I blundered to draw. Really surprising to see. I completely blundered the draw, but I still don't see clearly. Like, you king h6, rook h8, rook h7. I calculated this. Where's the draw? Calculated this and said, well, it's winning. There's this. That's completely brilliant. Completely missed the idea. Completely missed it. Like, I saw all of this and said, well, he enters, but I defend. After rook h7, it's completely winning. Wait, yeah, of course. So, that was a huge miss by me. A really huge one. King h5. What a terrible miss that threw the game. But well, I managed. And well, after rook g5, if I'm not careful, I even made it with king h4, but of course, I calculated king h6, rook h8, rook h7, and it was completely winning. That's rook c8, threatening mate. So b3 cannot be played because I mated. And then it's an easy draw for, for white. Like, actually, it's black who has to be careful. Like, look at this. It's so crazy. Oh, sorry. It's first rook c5, and then the sorry. I completely messed up. Yeah, yeah. I just want to put it in my mind. And then rook c8, and it's a mate threat, like rook c6. When I saw this after the game, I was stunned. Like, wow, how is that a draw? b3 even loses on the spot. It's mate. But well, I think my opponent calculated like me. Completely messed up with this g4 move. I completely lost the game. And now rook a5. I'm just completely fine. My opponent loses my time and my position because there's no way of saving this game for them. So, okay, now we're going to the next game. Okay. Yeah. So, and now we have, yeah, my second loss of the tournament. My opponent completely crashed. It was 7 out of 7 actually. Like at the he was doing a great tournament. I think he qualified to 100% because it was 7 out of 7, and the third finished with 6.5. So here, my opponent just started just dominating the center. It's again the same concept. We can open up bishops. We open up bishops. If We can control the center, we control the center. If we can do both, we do both. If when we control the centers, we need our knights really well placed. So e4 is one, e5 fighting for the center, and now g3 to fight for the center with f4 ideas and to activate the bishop. Then the knight can be easily placed in e3. Let's play g6, wanting to counter f4 with f5, but it doesn't work. f5 here, it's bad, really bad. Look at this. Because well, calculated and said, well, this was terrible move. So I just took it, I think. No, I played 96. I don't remember perfectly this game. 96 because I missed that my opponent could play f5 actually. Like if I had seen f5, I would have played this move. But luckily my opponent missed it as well. And now I played f5. My opponent took back, take. And I was calculating takes, and I thought that was good. But no, it's good. It's good for black, for white, either way. But when I played 93, still fine move. 96, logical moves as well. Rook f1, pressuring the pawn, really smart. Bishop e6. Okay. Knight g2. That was really surprising for me. And I just found bishop f6, and still thought I was worse, but I'm not. I'm better. Because after this bishop h5, I found rook a5. Bishop h5, and here I find, after a long think, I find rook a5. 1 minute of thinking, and I was actually here. I thought I was clearly worse because I was not seeing a move. Like I thought about castling, but I didn't like possibilities because I thought d4 was really strong. But then I found this rook a5, and I was really happy with my position then. And then a3, castles, and after knight f4, I took it really quickly, took back, queen g7, not the best move, but reasonable one. After bishop e3, I should have gone instantly for b5. Wait, no, that's wrong. No, no, d5 is, yeah, d5, d5, that's completely right, d5. I was thinking it was another move, no, I was completely right. d5. I was crazy good because I was just threatening fork. Yeah, I saw. Of course, I analyzed briefly the games after finishing, so I remember a bit the things that Engine said. Now I'm reviewing it again. D5 was really strong, and only move, well, not only, but the best move is D4, just sacrificing a pawn. But I did not find d5. I just moved quickly, queen h6, a bad move. In 2 seconds. Queen h6 in 2 seconds, it's terrible. Queen h6 in 2 seconds, it's so bad. Like, okay, it's a second best move, but practically speaking, one gets me a pawn, gets me activity, gets me a good position. Queen h6, I thought it was a mistake after the end of the game. But well, it was the second engine move, so not that bad. But d5 is crashing. So okay, queen h6. After this bishop f3, completely logical move, I go rook g8, and that's again a mistake. Again d5, I think it was again crashing, probably. Yeah. In d5, I'm still failing d4, still good position. I play rook g8, then b4, then I just go knight takes to b4, strong line, and I thought here I was winning, but then I believed him. I don't know why, but I started to believe his position. Because bishop takes b7, well, I said, well, that's an interesting idea. Knight takes before he takes the bishop pawn, and that's interesting. But here I'm clearly better. Like, why would I feel I'm worse here, but I'm just clearly better? Rook b1, I started to feel like in a strange position, and I saw knight a2. I saw this crazy good move. I don't know why. My brain just completely collapsed. After seeing knight a2, I just didn't even think about taking the knight. I just didn't even think about taking the knight. Like, my brain just said, well, that's a nice and interesting idea of sacrificing, but it doesn't work. I calculated rook takes a3 then, but I just thought it was lost, so I didn't play it. I can just pick back. Bishop takes knight. And look at this. This is crashing. Two strong bishops. I'm taking the a3 pawn. This is crashing. Completely missed that. And well, then I didn't play knight a2. When I move, I just actually you could say that I saw it, but then I thought I couldn't play it because I just lost a piece. No, my brain just completely exploded. The bishop takes knight. This knight is clearly lost. Because our pawn takes pawn. I thought it was that lost. It's not. There's this bishop takes pawn. Really brilliant line in which I'm down a piece. I'm not that lost. I don't know why because I cannot really understand that. I will like how this is fine. Like I'm just down a piece. Okay, I think this crazy evaluation by the engine. I think this is clearly losing. Just plus one being down a piece. It's actually fine. Completely missed this knight a2, and I was down a piece. Played this bad move, and then the game was over. Bishop c4, try, and queen h3, trying to take the bishop, queen f3, queen takes h2, trying not to trade queens. I could actually have played. My huge idea was play queen takes pawn and rook g3 or something along those lines. Of course, after this, there was even queen c6, and that's I have to resign at that point. It's GG. I lose a bishop, I just lose everything. And my opponent misses the chance, plays king b2, giving me chances. So I just go rook g3. As I told you, that was my huge plan. But now I force him to play the best move, queen c6, and it's a loss. I just find this rook d5 idea, takes, and he finds mate. I just thought, well, bishop queen takes, rook takes bishop, and well, it's lost, but we can play on. It's still that loss. Well, it's not a piece, and we're gonna lose some pawns, but we have a passer, and even though we're gonna lose 100%, we can play a few moves. But here, our opponent just mates us so easily with this bishop c5 brilliancy. After this 6, we are completely mated, bishop b4, and he finds bishop c6, and we resign the game. So, okay, that's completely logical. He played a nice game, and we got destroyed. Now we go on to the next game. What is this one against a fellow improver, Lee RL and streamer actually, and quite a strong player in Rapid. Of course, in freestyle, he is low rated because we don't play freestyle. For example, I had a good freestyle rating at the start because I haven't played freestyle in chess.com. I just played uh, normal chess. So, of course, I was with a great rating because they gave me my rapid rating in freestyle. So of course I was way too much rated, so I got down with just one loss. Okay, now here it's mostly there's not that much to learn about freestyle. It's mostly a really interesting game. There's not that much to see in the opening. I think I played good, and as always, another thing I learned, like we're used to in normal chess to actually there's a good thing to learn about this. That I learned that of course we're used to just go one square with the pawns to don't overcommit in with the edge pawns. We usually don't overcommit and we go one square. So then we can build a structure. But actually in freestyle chess you can go before and they're gaining space and opening up the queen is it's even better because there's no problem with doing that. You're opening the same piece and you're not actually weakening all of your pieces like in normal chess. So that was a discover I made in the second tournament and here I made it in the two tournaments. I saw the same thing. Like it's usually better to push the pawns two and to gain space. Sometimes when there's the bishops on the edges, then that build of pawn structure it's better because you have a supported pawn structure. But if you don't have those bishops, usually to gain more space, it's smarter. Then I played this. I played b3, logical but not strong. And my opponent played knight f6, so still fine. And look at cold blood move that of the engine, just e4. Actually, it looked easy because knight takes pawn, we win on the spot. I think. Yeah. Oh, no, that's 96. Because 87, that's 96. I thought we were on the spot, but we weren't winning on the spot like at all. But at the very least, it looks tricky. The engine says probably on c4. Okay, e4, knight takes e4, queen takes g7, yeah. Cold-blooded move, e4 now, but quite unfindable, I think. Just played knight f3, natural. But then worse. But he, again, doesn't know concept I mentioned or didn't think about it. He played d6 instead of b5. b5 is gaining space and avoiding ideas like c4 because you might trade rooks and I might get a bad position, or you might just take, trade, and then use that c pawn that is weak to attack me. So that was a good idea with b5. b5 gaining space. That's a good thing to remember. I played knight g3. Of course, at that point I wasn't thinking that much about those concepts. So knight g6, because I still haven't learned all the concepts I mentioned. Kind of playing normal moves. c5 again. This kind of build works really well, but if we have a break, it's complicated. I want c4 to block, and then I was going for the break, but the engine says that the break-in still was better because, of course, I allowed the break. I had the idea. Like another thing to learn is that it's normally in this case we play a bit symmetrical. So if I have an idea and I play it second, then if I saw that against my idea, against his idea, I had a counter idea. Usually, if I do the same, they have the same counter idea before me, of course. So you have to remember that. So be careful because here I allowed d5. Here again, I didn't play d4. I don't know. I don't even know why. Like, why don't I play d4? Oh, because d5. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember much about all my thought process. Sorry. I thought it was spoiler there. Okay. So I just played bishop c2. Look nice. I just wanted to maintain the position symmetrical. e6, and now it's exactly the same position. Exactly the same. And I will go for the break b4. That looks nice. C takes d4. Hey, blunder. I go knight. Knight takes d4. Blundering. Queen takes g2. Completely blundering it. I had two better options than that. Queen takes, e takes. Queen takes way better because there's no punish. So that was really good. Pawn takes is good. I take with the knight, blundering the cheat, pawn in the spot. And here, of course, I have to go to defend my pieces. And here I thought, well, bishop takes knight now it doesn't work because I have this really smart move, bishop f3, and I'm better. Or winning. I think winning is the word. So, of course, that was the huge idea of bishop d1. A huge trick. Bishop takes knight, thinking they are winning the game on the spot. Like, because it would be really fun. Like, bishop takes knight, they're thinking, well, I win a rook at GG. Like this brilliant bishop with f3 idea. The engine doesn't think bishop d1 is brilliant, but because there's a better move that it's f4. But I think bishop d1 could be considered brilliant or a great move. I don't know, but it's not because it's not the best move. Of course, now they play knight h4, and of course now they are threatening bishop takes knight. Bishop takes knight. Bishop f3 cannot be played. They're threatening a rook. And here, I broke my mind. Like, I was 1 minute thinking. I just didn't see a way. Like, I just didn't. Like, f4, I completely missed it. Like, I didn't see f4. Not saying f4 is terrible. Yeah, it's f4 is really clear. It's a really clear move. Like, defend the knight. Not instead of defending it, just cover it. And it cannot be attacked. But I go for the second engine move, and I think it's trickiest line I have ever played. Knight b5. Second engine move. Now you will see why it's such a crazy idea. Knight b5. I thought for a minute and I said, wait, that's lost, actually. Because here, of course, they can win a rook. But look at the engine. It says, well, don't take it yet. Knight f5. So imagine that the engine it's scared. Like the engine, it's scared about taking a knight. Of course, it's because then it says it's gonna win either way. But imagine bishop take knight, good move either way. I think. I know if it was better with the F or with the G, but I didn't want to leave E3 weak. I don't think it matters that much. Well, actually, it matters a lot. F takes, it's really bad. Oh yeah, now I see why it matters so much. Is to force them to take the pawn, because if not, for example, if they take this, they can go knight f5 and would end the game on the spot. Yeah, because we are gonna lose the rook for nothing. We could say, well, but it's the same, no? Because this now with this rook, of course, and we could think that my idea is to just take the knight. No, just go for it. G takes knight and just go like that. But my idea is way trickier. Queen e5. Queen e5 again. It might not be the engine move, but it's really strong because I forced him to find only moves. Knight take d6. Okay, fine. King d7. Go queen d4. Only because I didn't find anything else to try to win the game, and I didn't want to draw because a draw is not enough. Like I couldn't even try some drawing trick like knight d5 or anything. No, no, no. I have to win the game. So imagine the pressure there. And now, actually, as you might see, in the other case, pawn takes knight was terrible because there was queen takes bishop and I'm down a rook. But pawn takes knight, queen takes bishop, queen e5 might have been really interesting, but I did it in a reverse order. So now, if I do it, I don't have an attack because they have played d6, of course. I think this was even better uh, objectively. Yeah, but I think, practically speaking, Queen 5 shook my opponent. I don't know if he would agree, but I think it shook really clearly my opponent. And I went Queen D4 and lost, sure. Like, I thought my opponent could take my bishop. I thought he could. He didn't. He was scared. I understand being scared because it looks like I'm mating. Like, it does look like I'm mating you. So he goes King C6. Again, I do really have nothing. Like, pawn takes knight, queen takes bishop, I'm just on a full rook. I go knight b5. Like, I cannot really do this. Because the worst thing is that if pawn takes knight, queen takes bishop, I had to check with the white bishop, I would be even winning. Like, it would be completely winning because I have mate in that case. But the worst thing about this is that my white bishop is pinned. So I cannot really move it. And now the knight blocks it and the queen blocks it. So I have to go for trick ideas like knight b5 now. It's a huge for all. But here again, look, only moves. King b7. It's sorry, the R makes me sometimes confused. Of course, it's not rook b7. It's rook b7 with hang mating one. It's king b7 and king b7. It's an only move. Rook c8. It's a draw. Again, I didn't want to draw, but if he offers it, I would take it. Like, even if I do not want it, I have to take it. Because 4.5 out of 7, I can still get it. Like 6.5, it's not a bad result at all. So I'm gonna find the move. Great. I go knight d6, good trick, king here, and now I go for what I think it was my best decision of the game. Queen takes knight. Okay, practically speaking, not practically speaking, objectively speaking, this is dead lost. Dead lost? No, but completely lost. I should resign here. If he had found queen takes bishop, I would have resigned. But I thought that actually any human would see that they are winning, that they can trade queens actually. They can trade queens. They're completely winning. After that, I have to resign the game. Yeah, because I'm just down material, I have to nothing. Yeah, I thought any human would trade the queens here to avoid any trick, anything. So they did. But when they did queens, they enter completely into my trick. Completely. Here I don't know why, but it tells me that after bishop f3, I'm not winning. Well, I'm not equal. I don't know why, but because I thought it was the smart choice. I played bishop f3. I thought it was better after that, but it seems like I made a mistake. On this queen, it's the same idea. But this queen, there's no like bishop c6. Oh, but I have knight f7 and things like that, and it might be equal. Yeah, okay. But my whole idea about queen h4 wasn't pawn this queen at all. Like, pawn this queen was the smart choice, it seems. But again, it was a clear draw. And actually, if I wanted to if I tried to get a draw, I might even lose the game because I'm down on exchange. So, okay. I find this bishop f3, but here, I just thought like knight takes. That might be a brilliant something. Oh, bishop c6. Okay, yeah, bishop c6 and resign the game again. I'm losing there. But not that losing. Oh no, because my knight is trapped. No, it's not trapped. Well, it's playable. Yeah, but I'm still down on exchange. Except that. Completely true. My opponent played knight d5 and now they're lost. Actually, I just thought about these lines. About this was losing. Dr. Pawn is winning. About this was difficult to play, but it was the most winning one. I haven't thought about bishop c6. It would be a fun move. Of course, no one plays bishop c6 there. It's the worst move. So I thought they would play queen e4, but it's not that clear. For me, it's really clear that they have to play queen e4. I saw queen e4, but I missed bishop c6. That's a bit embarrassing, but wow. But the fact that the queen is like hanging, I don't know if he just automatically made the queen out of the game and tried to defend without the queen. I think that's what happened. Like he traded the queens, so after trading the queens, he thought the queens weren't there anymore. Like mentally, he knew the queen was there, but he thought for other moves. So he played knight d5 and just take the queen. And now it's completely lost because he loses the knight. After this bishop c6, I take, I did everything, and I have a great endgame in which I said I don't know if it was in this video or in the first chapter. I am doing it really close in time, but it's clear that I have confidence in my end games. Like if I'm winning, I'm quite confident I can get the win. If I'm in a drawn endgame, I'm quite confident I can defend. And if it's equal, I'm quite confident I can pressure. So if you look at me completely winning endgame, I was sure I would win this game. Of course, I make mistakes, and I got this into still winning, but more complicated one. But we are low on time. He's low on time, so I think it's acceptable not to play perfect. I was actually really nervous because I thought that after this win, I was in the run to get third place or second place. H5 was great. I was trying to pressure, and here this was the moment in which I kind of threw because G5 pawn takes, and it might be clearly drawn. But well, he missed it. I think with 8 seconds and me with 40, you cannot really blame it. Again, G5, like, but if you don't see it the first time, you won't see it the second one. Of course, that's not an excuse, but neither for him or for me. Well, sometimes we blunder. So this, I was just kind of trying to pressure. For example, here my huge idea was to get the e pawn. Then, because I had the e pawn, I could maintain my bishop protected and move my knight really freely. So this was already a huge win because I just had to maintain my pieces protected and I was clearly winning. After this, there was no way I lost this endgame. 8-7. That was a really huge win. After this, I was probably the most hyped person alive. Like I was feeling so good. I knew this was losing, probably. And so when I analyzed, like I finished the game, and I remembered, well, we have this break of 6 minutes. It's the break, and we were the last round. I didn't know that, so I just analyzed a bit and talked a bit with my with Lip, a a bit of analysis, saying, well, that was crazy. I don't know if it was good the sacrifice. I commented a bit, like I think it was probably 3 minutes, but I didn't know that we were the last round. And here I can show you. This was the moderator, and uh, I think it was probably he sent it to me like as the break started. He probably sent the message, but I didn't see it. After, after I think it 4.5 minutes probably had passed, and I saw the message. And then, so of course, at first I didn't understand what was happening because he told me. Well, I'm actually just going to show you. Okay. Okay, hello, please reconnect your main camera to Proctor during the break. Please also adjust your second camera so it has clear view of your computer screen and mouse hand. That makes sense. Okay, my second camera was my mobile phone, and my mobile phone actually ran out of battery, so it wasn't great. It wasn't really greatly showing my hand and mouse. So I understand that request. I obviously just changed the position because it was already charged and it was fine. And the main camera, I thought that my main camera was clearly connected because it told me so. So I responded, my main camera is connected. And I explained the the problem, the second camera, and said I will solve it. And my main camera is connected now. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's logical. I asked if it was connected for them, and he, instead of explaining, I think it was probably like he was trying to actually be helpful and do not make me run out of time before the round started. But of course, didn't he didn't give me any information at all. Look at this. Please reconnect your main camera. But my main camera is connected. Instead of a response, reconnected. Of course, I think that was a problem with my English, probably. I should have understand. I just here it was stupid to ask this. I knew what he was meaning. Do I disconnect and reconnect? Of course, he told me yes. And here I thought I thought that I had way enough time because there was a 6 minute break. What I didn't know was that we were the last round because our game is 76 moves long. Like the games of freestyle are not usually this long. So in my mind, I thought we had 6 minutes. I didn't have 6 minutes. I had probably 30 or 40 seconds. And here I was a bit disrespectful. No, I missed the round because of what you told me. I was mad. Here I was a bit disrespectful. Of course, he didn't accept he doesn't accept the blame. I understand that. It's kind of my fault because not proceeding to not recommend the camera until the break was almost over. Here I explained to him I did not see the message until there was a minute left. I asked as a question. I still do not understand what was the problem with my main camera. I see myself. I do not know how to disconnect the camera as you told me to do. You could. I actually then I learned it just closing the session, disconnecting the camera, is just closing the session. Actually, that is what I did, but actually that was the reason I I lost the eighth round. I got a bye. It was because I didn't know how to disconnect the camera, so I just closed session for a moment and I missed the round. Of course, I explained that I was the last game to finish of all the round. I analyzed a bit with my opponent, so I wanted a bit of closure and to be more focused for the next game. So I was, what was the problem? We couldn't see your main camera on our end, indicating an issue with Proctor. The main camera needed to be reconnected to resolve the issue. Okay. Oh, it is fine now. Yeah. Of course, I wanted to ask, so I didn't have any more problems. It didn't fix it. Like after that, they tell me it didn't fix it. So of course, I apologized because of there. I didn't say anything insulting or anything, but my manners weren't good. So he tells me he appreciates it, and okay, we just got the closure of that. So well, it's what it is. I will. I was mad, of course, because after all that hype, after thinking I could win, they tell me this. Of course, I'm not cheating because I'm playing normal chess, of course. So even get me mad, even at the need of using these programs. I understand the need of these programs, but of course, for me it's annoying because these programs are just needed for cheaters. But of course, they have to do it for everyone. I understand the need. It gets me mad with even more with the cheaters. That's one of the problems the cheaters generate. They make they make these programs needed. It's okay. Well, it's what it is. I lost the eighth round. I thought I still had a chance, but of course, one missed round. If I was like the other guy, like with 7 out of 7, uh, this wouldn't have been an issue. I could just leave the tournament after round seven, and that was fine. But I wasn't him. I'm a normal player. I'm not that strong in freestyle, of course. Okay, well, it was a bit of my fault, a bit of moderator's fault, because he could just have told me, well, there's 30 seconds, don't do it. But of course, he has to do his job. And his job is to assure that anyone does not cheat, understand it. So it's with this. And okay, now we're gonna look at the last game. Okay, okay. So the last game was I played badly, really badly, but it was interesting. I played badly. You could say I could say it was because it got me out of my rhythm. Anything. I think I just played badly because I didn't understand the position right. Just that. Just completely like that. So well, there's no excuse playing that badly. The game was even longer than the other one, but it was because I played way too quickly. Because I have to say, even though it's not an excuse, it obviously affected my play, the situation. Why? I don't want to defend with that. It just was annoying. Well, I expect this moderator to be fine with me. I think he is after the last message. I'm sorry about that. Like analyzing with Leap, it was the thing I think I wanted to do. I thought I had way more time. Okay, because I then knew I was the last round. Like actually, I should have revised and then start analyzing, or don't do the camera solution and do it in the next round in the ninth. But well, but it is. So, okay, I just played G3 this game. I'll probably separate the controversy part with the other ones, so people can skip it if they don't want to listen about my yapping. Okay, G3, knight c6, f4, logical structure. Like as I told you, when the bishops are in the edge of the board, this is a really reasonable structure. F5, good structure as well. Let's c3 a bit odd, but well, it's fine. E4, trying to break. I do it, of course. Takes, knight takes. E5, logical idea. I took it. Not a great decision, but not a bad one. So bishop takes. So knight c3. That's probably a bad decision. Look at this. It was probably better to do anything. No, it wasn't a bad thing. Well, I thought I had better moves. Usually the knight is it's placed in another way. But well, knight c3 is fine. Knight e6, as you see. I thought that was the perfect placement of the knights, but no, I was right the first time. A3, I don't, I don't even understand the purpose of my own move. I could just have castled because he blocked his own bishop. Like my idea of a3 was to avoid bishop takes a2 after castling and then have liberty with my knight. But I could just have castled normally because the bishop is blocked. But well, and actually in those positions I could even give up the pawn and then play b3 and trap in the bishop. Well, my opponent castled, I castled back, bishop e3, not a bad move, not good. And here, bishop g2, I was thinking about d5 lines, and I completely missed that rook is rook. I was fine. Completely missed that. I thought knight takes and I resign the game. After knight takes, I have d4 back. Actually, it's funny because this is a thing where I saw that symmetrical ideas concept. Like, I thought about playing d4. I thought here d4 was fine. But of course, it didn't work still because I just wanted the pawn. But Actually, the idea was for me for that it didn't work. He had exactly the same idea, and I didn't even think it for him. Bishop g2, d5, and well, the idea doesn't really work. It's to show that the symmetrical concepts idea. And I just went for this 95, thinking I was really smart. I'm not. d4, bishop h3. He just has this rook e8 crashing move. Knight e4, knight c5. There's just this brilliant e2. I'm crashed. I didn't even see e2. It's not brilliant, actually, just a good move. I'm crashed. He promotes, he trades everything. He doesn't even. He could have probably just played king b8 and been stronger, but put e6 in the game. And I'm just on a piece. He plays really accurately. Like, there's no mistake, but well, what mistake is he gonna make? I was lost the whole game. My opponent blundered the bishop, funnily enough, but I'm still lost. I think that actually this decision about playing bishop c3 is his best decision of the game. Actually, rook g4 would have been even stronger, but this trials defense, like for example, if I played, I don't know, b5, I think the rook chances I won the game. I was still lost, yeah, but I have a passer. And yeah, he would sacrifice the bishop, and I will take this pawn. Okay, that lost game, but I can try. I even have rook g7, rook g7 ideas at some point. So I was scared to play that. Hang this bishop, but I'm still lost. There's nothing for me. Of course, just trade the pawns. And okay, 2 pawns down. I'm 3 because I have to give up the pawn to not get mated. Um, I actually had a hope. It was I just had one hope. H2. Look at this. Like if this thing plays H2 here, is it the draw? No, it's not. I thought it could be. The fact is that he just has rook b3, and there's no trap, and they can just come back. And now I'm floating another ideas. It's still completely lost. Yeah. That was my huge hope, and stalemate trap. For example, I don't know, he didn't find rook d3, I don't know, like h2 strong, rook here, and I don't know. This move, then it's a draw, rook g4, king f6, there's this rook f5, and then it's a draw. So after this, it's simply a draw. Like rook c3, I think there's still tricks to it, but it's essentially a draw. And I just go rook d3, and it's an easy draw. Because it's just a cage that's finally built. Okay, that was my huge trick, but there was rook d3 either way. He saw my only idea. I didn't blunder it. Played smartly, offered a trade of rooks. I resigned. So a great game by him, a bad one by me. I didn't find the fructive rook. I thought I was really smart with this nice idea of pinning. It doesn't work. Okay, I just clearly lost. Of course, this thing was annoying, but I still played the next qualifier, even though, if you think about it, you can say that it affected my mood and everything, but I still lost the second game. So even though if I hadn't lost round 8, imagine I had won. Like, I still had to play against some strong player, but imagine I had won round 8. I would have been with 6 points, and then if I lose the 9, it doesn't matter. I lost either way. I just lost either way. So of course, doesn't really matter. I don't know if I would have lost. Like, it's a question that will remain to me forever, probably. But thinking about it, there was nothing that told me that I was gonna win. Of course, it's a bit frustrating, but well, I got really frustrated for a moment, but well, now I'm completely fine. It was an experience. I have to be more careful with these kind of things, get it set up perfectly from the beginning, assuring there's no problem from the beginning, and be more careful with this type of organization things, like not really knowing if we were the last game was really stupid because I I stayed there like for 4 minutes analyzing my game. I think like thinking about wow, that sacrifice was really interesting. But well, thank you for saying. After all, I think you probably have learned some new concepts. I I will be happy if you have learned things about this video, if you have enjoyed the games, and thank you for saying bye.